jump into your DeLorean or quantum time machine, because today we're going to the future. Salve omnes, I'm Jordan Kay, a Latin tutor, teacher, and medalist with a mission to make Latin fun, because I believe it really is. Now, as you might be able to tell, I'm expecting my first baby, so I'm thinking a lot about the future right now. So what better time to cover the future tense? And right now, I'm still waiting to find out if this is a little boy or a little girl, so I have two distinct futures in front of me, and so do you. In Latin, there are two distinct sets of future endings that you need to learn. One is for your first and second conjugation verbs, and the second set is for your third and fourth conjugation verbs. If you don't know what that means, you should definitely start with my Introduction to Verbs episode about present tense and the imperfect tense. Future should be the third one that you learn. Now, what does the future tense look like in English? Let's put it on our timeline. The future tense hasn't happened yet and is always translated with some helping words like will or going to. For example, I will verb, you are going to verb, etc. Some great examples of the future tense can be found on Mustafar. For example, I will do as I must. And of course, you will try. Good news! If you've worked with the present or imperfect tense in Latin, the future tense will be a breeze because it works very similarly. Let's go ahead and look at your future tense endings. Bo bis bit, bimis bitis bunt. Now you might notice these look really similar to your imperfect tense endings, which you might remember are in the past. I like to remember it this way. The imperfect tense has bom, bus, but, with all of those A's. That A is like the A in past, or the A in was, like was verbing in the past. However, in the future, where I will verb, we have lots of I's. Bo, bis, bit. That I sound is like the I in will. I will verb in the future. That helps me remember it. If it helps you, fantastic. If not, just memorize it. Bo, bis, bit, bimis, bitis, bunt is for the future. Will verb, or going to verb. Let's go ahead and practice with one of those Mustafar sentences. You will try. For this, we're going to use the Latin word tempto, temptare, temptavi, temptatis, which means to try. We need to put this in the right person, number, and tense. Well, the tense is a bit of a giveaway with this video, but in the sentence, you will try, will is in the future. You have not tried yet, so we know that we should be using our future box of endings. But who is verbing? This is where the person comes in. First person is I or we are verbing. Third person is he, she, it, or they are verbing. So I must need to use the second person. You or y'all are verbing. And since Anakin is talking to the one and only Obi-Wan, then we are going to use the second person singular ending of bis. But how do I put that ending on this verb? The same way I do for the present and imperfect tense. I'm going to take my second principal part, also known as the infinitive, temptare, and drop that re to get my stem tempta. Then I add my second person singular ending, bis, to get temptabis, or you will try. And just like that, you're already one sentence into your Star Wars Latin translation. Alright, well let's keep this rolling because I've promised you two possible futures and I've only shown you one. Let's look at your special endings for your third and fourth conjugation future tense. Now, often the different conjugations will use verb endings slightly differently. But for the future tense, third and fourth completely split off and ask for their own box altogether. Because these act so differently from first and second conjugation verbs, your curriculum might choose to wait a while before even introducing you to the future tense for third and fourth conjugation. But I think it's far less confusing to just learn them all together. So let's go ahead and jump into your third and fourth conjugation future tense endings. Boom! They look a bit different from your first and second conjugation endings, specifically because there's a lack of B's. Instead, we have ace et, amus atis ent. Now you might be thinking, those look an awful lot like my present tense endings. And they do. That ex, et, amus, atis, ent can easily be mistaken for present tense at first glance. But if you think back to my present tense video, you might remember that third and fourth conjugation use their own special vowels before the endings in present tense. They like to use a mix of I's and U's, never E's. So if you see es, et, emus, etis, and eunt with a third or fourth conjugation verb, you know it has to belong to the future tense. This is why knowing which conjugation your verb belongs to is so important. Now, I'm going to go ahead and skip third for a second and just jump to fourth, because fourth conjugation uses these endings exactly how you'd expect. Let's look at an example from Hercules. I will find my way from I can go the distance. In the sentence, I will find my way, I'm going to use the fourth conjugation verb invenio, invenire, inveni, inventus, which means to find. If I want to say I will find, that's clearly in the future. So I'm going to have to use one of these future tense endings. But which person and number? Well, before I even get to that, I need to find my verb's stem. For invenio, invenire, inveni, inventus, I'm going to go to that second principal part, the infinitive, drop the re, and get inveni. Then all I need to do is add my endings. Inveniam, invenies, inveniet, etc. Well, I am the one doing the finding, and I am a first person singular pronoun. So yet again, I'm going to be using that first person singular box, but this time my ending is am. So I am going to get inveniam, I will find. So you still form your verbs in the same way, you just use different endings because this is third or fourth conjugation. If I said invenibo, that would be a nonsense word to a Romaneer, and that doesn't help anyone. Now, let's go ahead and look at a third conjugation example, because like most things with threes in Latin, it likes to bend the rules a little bit more. Don't worry, it still uses your same set of endings. Let's practice with another line from Hercules. I will beat the odds. I will go the distance. So in this sentence, I will beat the odds. I'm going to use the Latin word vinco vincere vici victus, which, yes, comes from the very famous Latin phrase, veni vidi vici, I came, I saw, I conquered. This word means to conquer, or in this case, to beat the odds. So if I want to say I will beat the odds, I'm going to need to put vinco vincere vici victus into the future tense. But how do I do that? First, I'm going to find my stem. I'm going to go to the second principal part, drop the re to get vince. But just because it's the future tense and it is a third conjugation verb, I'd write this down, we also drop the vowel before the re, which in this case is a short e. I'm going to say that again. For third conjugation, future tense, we drop the re and the e before. So that means our future stem is just wink. This is going to be the same for any third conjugation verb in the future. You drop the ERE. So I will take wink and then add my proper future tense ending. In this case, I will beat the odds is still first person singular. So I'm going to use that first box, AM, to get wincom. I will beat the odds. But if it was you will beat the odds, it would be wincase, we will beat the odds, wincamus, etc. This works using the same patterns you've learned for your other verbs, just being a little obnoxious as third conjugation sometimes likes to be, by dropping the E before the RE as well. And there you have it. Now you can see into the future. Or at least put your Latin verbs in the future tense, if they're first and second conjugation or third and fourth conjugation. If you want to practice both a little bit more, go ahead and check out my custom worksheets in the description below. They are super fun, fandom themed, and can work alongside any curriculum that you're used to. If you want to learn more Latin verb tenses, or just want any Latin help with a fandom twist, go ahead and check out the rest of my Latin Made Fun channel. I'll see you there. Well, let's say